Sooner Scoop HD.
Yeah, Jeff, I want to ask you to start off about Dylan. What do you feel like about the way that he has brought his group together? When I talk about him, the quarterbacks and the receivers especially, over the summer, some of the things that he's done to continue to build that relationship, and what are some of the things that you want to see from him, especially early in camp?
Yeah, I think the thing that he's done has been exactly who he is. You know, he's been very intentional on creating relationships and making sure that everybody in the locker room knows who he is as a person. And so he's done a great job of that. You know, the thing that we're looking for coming into fall camp is taking care of the football. You know, operating at a really high level. Those are the two things to me that are most important. The ball's the only thing that matters, so take care of the rock and we're going to be in good shape.
Okay, let's go to Eric Bailey.
Coach, good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask you, at the end of spring, Brent mentioned quarterbacks and looking for more quarterbacks to add to that room. Since then, you've added a couple in Davis and in general. Can you talk about those two, what they bring to the program, and how important it was to add those two to that room?
Yeah, it was incredibly important. You know, I think what's still a little bit concerning is we sit here today and we've got one guy that's, you know, throwing a bunch of footballs in live action. Now, Davis has got some action, which I thought was huge, being able to add that to the room. And then General, you know, in the same light, has played some college ball at a much smaller level, but those guys know how to work. They know what it means to be a quarterback. They've got great presence about them. They've done everything the right way, so excited about getting on the grass with them for sure.
Okay, James Hale.
Hey, Jeff, your overall speed on the offense, I'm curious what you think. There's a lot of people, because you don't maybe have a Hollywood or somebody, but do you have good speed on your offense, or enough speed to get your offense going?
Yeah, we do. As we sit here today, we're always going to want to be faster. I think that's something that is absolutely critical as we move forward. Foot speed is going to be a huge deal with who we are and how we play. But we've got enough in the room to go get done what we want to get done for sure.
Coach, your quarterback Dylan, arm strength sometimes is overhyped. We know there are so many other things there, but in terms of his arm strength and what you want to do, is it what you want, or do you have to compensate and do other things?
No, I think one of the greatest things that Dylan does is throw the deep ball. You know, I think if you look at all of his throws on tape and you go back to his freshman year, sophomore year, and then before he got hurt last year, he can push the ball down the field. So he's got great touch on it, understands how to get the ball out of his hand a little earlier if he needs to, but that's a strength of his for sure.
Okay. Right side, front row, Bob Bill.
Yeah, Jeff, how's the relationship with Bill going, and how important is that chemistry between you, offensive line coach?
Yeah, no, it's the relationship is great. You know, Bill recruited me when I was coming out of high school, so we've got a ton of history, and you know, a lot of people don't know that, but again, got a ton of history. We've had had a lot of fun getting going. Again, got great rapport, got a great relationship. He's the best O-line coach in the country, bar none, so dang glad he's in the room.
Jeff, in terms of the install for training camp, you guys start this week. I presume it was a pretty good pace in the spring. Coach Gundy called it like learning Portuguese.
Yeah.
But has that pace maintained? Do you have to give them time to absorb it, and then does it pick up again now where you're kind of force feeding them a little bit?
Yeah, we're applying pressure from an install standpoint. You know, we want to make these guys strain as much mentally as physically, while putting them in positions of success as well. So it's a fine line. Our guys, we got a smart football team. We got guys that understand football, and guys that love learning and love getting better when they're not on the grass. So that's a huge part of it. It's a credit to them that we're able to go as deep into it as we are, as fast as we are.
Okay, over this side, second row, Brandon Rowe.
Hey, so the running back room it's fairly young, really young actually. With Eric Gray's pretty much the one guy that's got a lot of experience. Yeah. Marcus Major's back, and you got Gavin Sawchuk, Javante Barnes. Can you talk about that room, the talent in it, and Marcus Major's been injured, hit and miss and stuff like that. But can you talk about his growth since you guys arrived in January to now?
Yeah, the room is gonna start with EG. Obviously, Eric's done an unbelievable job. I've said this since being around him for 5 days. The guy's a pro, everything he does is in a professional manner. So could not be more excited about where he's at and what he's going to be able to do for us this fall. Marcus is, it's all about consistency for him. I think everybody understands when he's gotten opportunities, he's done a really good job. And so excited about where he's at. He had a good summer. And then the two young guys, obviously Javante was here in the spring, had a really good spring for a young guy just getting into it, and Gavin's incredibly talented. We were talking about foot speed earlier, and he's got it. So excited about that room. Maybe not a ton of production or experience from a depth standpoint, but guys that are capable and willing for sure. So excited about all those guys.
And Barry Trammell, second row.
Yeah, Jeff, your path, student assistant early as an undergrad here, are you going to see more and more guys take that path? Because so many people sort of been successful doing it.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, man, if there's a guy inside the room that wants to do that or that comes to us, I think it's our responsibility as coaches to be able to learn those young guys and bring them along and give guys an opportunity. That's the only reason I'm standing here today is because I got that chance. And so with that being said, we're always looking for guys that want to help and do a great job every single day. So I think there's great value in that for sure.
And next to Barry, Justin Martinez.
Jeff, going back to general, he's a guy who played at 4 high schools, went the junior college route. I mean, he's been around, at such a young age. Can you kind of speak to his ability to fit into new systems so quickly? And what was it about him during that recruiting process that made him feel like he was going to be able to adjust over?
Yeah, adaptability, right? That's a huge deal, especially at that position, being able to walk into a room and everybody look at you and say, hey, I believe in this guy. And General's got that about him. So he's been put in a bunch of different situations. Again, it's not at this level, but it's a kid that had to move around, had to bounce around, had to find a way to make it work, and he's made it work, and now he's ended up here, and he's got a great opportunity, and he's done everything he can up to this point to make the most of it.
Okay, this side, second row, Parker.
Now, Coach, wondered if you could talk about your experience as a former offensive lineman and how that factors into your play calling, because a lot of offensive coordinators come from background where a more traditional background in a sense where typically you see a lot of guys that play quarterback at some point. But for you, as a former offensive lineman, how does that impact the way that you see the field and the way that you dial things up?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing is that I learned the offensive side of football front to back, and up front is where it all starts, and learned it that way. So that's ingrained in me. It's who I naturally am. I think everybody's aware of how we're going to run the football. We're going to run the football in a great way. We're going to be incredibly physical up front in the way we carry the ball. So it's a huge part of how we do things from a day-to-day standpoint for sure.
That's all from my queue. Any more questions? Back to Barry.
What do you see out of Dylan's potential pro with the NFL? Is he potentially high pick, the kind of guys that have come through here?
Yeah, I think that's for those guys to answer. I do think he's going to have production that's unmatched. I think he's going to have experience that's unmatched. I think he's going to have leadership ability that's unmatched. So from those 3 standpoints, I think he's got a great future and has the ability to go do this for a long time. Again, it's going to start with, Thursday and Friday, getting out there on the grass and getting going and having an incredible year this year, and then see where it all falls.
Right side, front row, Ryan Chapman.
Hey, Coach. Brought in a couple wide receivers in JJ and Elby. What you kind of see out of those guys and how you think they can fit and be a contribution this year?
Yeah, you think about LV, it's, continue to talk about it, but from an experience standpoint, he's lived it. The guy's played ball, and he's caught the football in games, in big games, and he's had production. So he's come in, he's worked his butt off, he's done a great job. He's going to create great depth for us and have the ability to get on the field and go do the same thing right here, come September 3rd. And then JJ, being an in-state kid, being able to come back home, this is a really talented kid, really raw kid that's got great upside. So looking forward to him and getting on the field with him as well.
Eli Letterman, front row.
Having worked with Bentavious Thompson before, what made him someone you thought was a fit here, and what can he bring, come September and on from there?
It's real similar to what we just said about LV. Bentavious is a guy that has played a bunch of ball. He's lived it, was with us at UCF, had good production, know exactly how he ticks, how he plays, and what's important to him. And he's done a great job this summer, and we're looking forward to him getting on the field with him, and again, just creating depth, adding depth to that room of guys that have lived some experience.
Third row, Colton Sullivan.
Coach, I want to ask about Theo. I want to ask about his offseason. What do you expect from him this year?
Yeah, just good to see Theo healthy. I think he feels better than he's ever felt. I think he's in the best shape he's been in since he's been here. and so that's going to give him the opportunity to go play at a high level. So again, giving him every chance that we can to make sure that we're pushing the envelope and getting him ready to have a great year.
Back to Barry. Should you have a second one? No, I thought you did a third. Chase Hill.
You were talking about the receivers a little bit. This unit has had a lot of movement, guys coming out, guys coming in.
Yeah.
Talk about this unit from your, how confident are you in it? What kind of unit do you think you have at wide receiver?
Yeah, the thing that I love is you've got a couple of guys in there that are steady eddies. You got Marvin, you got Drake, who have had production, have lived the experience part of it, who work like pros every single day, have done a great job pulling that group with them. And then from there, you look at it, and again, we got guys that are very, very capable, but maybe haven't had the production or the experience that maybe we all think they need to have. But they're going to have an opportunity, and I'm excited about where that room's at and where we're going.
A guy like Jeff looks really, really talented.
Yeah.
He had good plays in the bowl game. How much can that springboard him forward?
Well, I think in the spring it springboarded him pretty good. He had a great spring. Again, he's done a great job, man, just maturing and understanding what it takes to be a great player every single day. He's serious about being great. He made that decision in January to be here and to put in the time and to work at a really high level, and I'm excited about what he's going to do.
Yeah, back to Dean.
Coach, I know Gibson was here early, which gives him a leg up. But how ready do you think he's going to be for Nebraska by the time you get there? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be a guy that you can rely on? And then what are your thoughts on how you want to utilize this tight end room?
Yeah, Jaden had a really good spring. You saw him make some explosive plays in the spring game. He's continued to work really well, has done a great job with his weight, created a bunch of strength for him. Excited about where he's at. Again, you got freshmen in the room that are going to have opportunities because there hadn't been a ton of production in that room. So we're going to get into fall camp and see where it all lays. Nick Anderson, another guy that got here early but didn't go through spring because of that thumb, and now he's had a great summer, and so excited about where he's at as well. But both those young guys got a chance to help us for sure.
And from a tight end standpoint, what are just your general thoughts about how you want to utilize those guys? It might be different than what's happened before.
Yeah, well, Braden's going to be very, very involved. We're going to play in 11, we're going to play in 12, we're going to play in 20, we're going to play in 10, we're going to play in all these different packages to where we're getting different guys involved. I think it's important to find a way to get our best guys on the field, and as long as we're doing that, putting guys in positions of success, then we're going to have a chance to roll like we want to.
Back to Barry.
Well, I got one now. I think it's 13 years since you last worked for Brent.
Yeah.
What's the difference from when you left here 13 years ago, and any major differences in Brent Venables?
And I think it's probably the greatest thing about him is that he's the same guy. Yeah, there are some changes from a programmatic standpoint and what we're doing inside the program. Absolutely there are, but his consistency, his toughness, his passion, his energy, his care to be great, his want to be great, it is the exact same as what I remember 13 years ago. And to me, it's a credit to him. And to me, that's why he is the head football coach at the University of Oklahoma, is because of how he pours into it, man, every single day, and sets such a great standard for all of his assistant coaches and everybody inside the program to be the standard. Best is the standard, and he does it by the way he walks and acts every single day.
Back to Bob in the front.
Yeah, Jeff, Nick Evers, just the way he progressed throughout the spring and the summer, and was it tough, not the term I'm looking for, but was it tough for him to understand that you were going to bring in even more quarterbacks?
Yeah, Nick, I've said this and we'll continue to say, Nick is very, very talented. Love where he's going to end up when it's all said and done. He understands the reset process as you come in and you're getting going in college, having to reset and being a room full of talented guys. But again, Nick's got a big time future and excited about what he's going to end up being for us here.
Okay, a couple more. Back to Ryan Abraham.
Yeah, Jeff, sort of along the lines of what Barry asked you about Brent, sort of similar question about Jerry Schmidt.
Yeah.
How different is he from when you were around him last, and just What's it been like seeing him work with those guys over the summer?
It's been incredible. You know, you get around our guys in the summer, you get around Schmitty in the summer, man, you automatically get inspired. You can't help but be in that room and be inspired by the way guys are working and sweating. We talk about sweat equity all the time. And, you know, Schmitty does an unbelievable job reaching these guys every single day and giving us the ability that when we walk down that tunnel, man, our guys are going to be prepared and ready to go to war.
How much does that help? Just how much does that help sort of set the tone here, entering this phase of the season?
Yeah.
Outside of just the strength and conditioning aspect.
Well, again, there's incredible alignment, from the top down, and I think that's something that has been so fun for me to see and to be a part of and to watch is Coach V coming in, setting the tone, setting the standard. And in all walks of our program, all facets of the program, everybody is in great alignment. And so when we're around each other, you know exactly what to expect every single day. That's no different in the weight room, and it gives us a chance to get right into fall camp and hit the ground running.
Last one, Brandon. Obviously, you brought up Jaden Gibson, Nick Anderson, and questions about the DOEs, but the wide receiver room as a whole, as a unit, where is that right now? And Marvin Mims, you've been around some really good wide receivers at Baylor, UCF, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Where does he stack up as far as potential ceiling, in your opinion?
Again, part one of the question, Brandon, I'm excited. We're excited about the room, and I think we've done a really good job of creating depth inside that room. We got guys, again, that maybe don't have a lot of experience, but they are capable. They've worked their butt off to put themselves in a position to be able to go compete and play at a really high level this fall. So from a totality standpoint, we're excited about that group. We really are. And then with Marv, man, sky's the limit. Again, the thing that I love most about him, he's the same dude every single day. He's worked at a really high level. He's been a pro, similar to what I was talking about with EG. Those guys are similar from the standpoint of you know exactly what you're going to get every single day. So you get a really talented guy that works the way he does, man, he got a chance to do this for a long time.
Sooner Scoop HD.